Morning, everyone. This is Lighting ESL. Do you remember the days of notebooks? Remember those days? Notebooks, making notes, taking notes, and things like that? Is it still in session? Is it still around today? Interesting, isn't it? Here at Lighting ESL, I've noticed many things. Through time, through computers, the notebook is becoming less and less often used because people figure they can type it and type it and type it, or record it and type something later. However, you must admit, when you're making notes by hand, believe it or not, it's like typing. Your fingers and your hand and your pen all remember a little bit what you just wrote. Think about it. When you type, for example, on a computer keyboard, all right, and you look at your hands all the time, or you look at the screen all the time. Example again, when you're writing in a notebook. Remember those days? Notebook, right? A margin, lines. Now you'll notice, when you write something in there, and you're writing along, and all of a sudden you realize something doesn't feel right. It's the spelling or the actual phrasing of that word. Yeah. The beautiful thing about writing in a notebook is you can see it visually right away. And also, your hand forms some type of memory when you're writing a word. Think about that. It's almost exactly the same thing as when you type a word on the typewriter of the computer board or keyboard. You remember how you formed that word. You might call it muscle memory, and certain words you so often sing. So often you sing and so often writing as well as typing. That's part of muscle memory. We talked about this earlier, how the brain remembers things. So when writing words and phrases in ESL or other type of skills, more advanced and things like that, you'll notice your brain remembers instantly how to write a word, how to write a phrase, and also punctuation, how punctuation comes into being. Put a comma over there, exclamation point over there, a question mark, and so on. But again, it's based on practice. Practice comes from where? Experiencing this, experiencing that. You have to start somewhere. I've heard many times, even today, 2023 of November, a lot of famous authors still write their novels in rough in a notepad just like this, and not in a keyboard. Yeah, they want an instant gratification, instant understanding, instant grammar check by looking at it. Going along. You can't do that in the same as looking at a screen on a keyboard towards a monitor. You can't. But this, you can. I could throw this on the floor, it won't break. Can't do that with a monitor, can you? I know it's a little far-fetched thinking, but it's true. By looking at this, looking at your work, and gazing it down, you can instantly find out what's wrong faster than looking at a monitor going side with your eyes. Isn't that amazing how the brain works? It's amazing. Think about that. That's why a notebook, even like this, even though it's cheap to buy and not used as many often times, it's more reliable, more independent thinking for you to understand the written word of English. Yeah, writing in rough, seeing your mistakes instantly, versus, you might say, using software now on a keyboard, spell check. But remember, spell check is not perfect. No, it's not. The computers only recognize certain words based on a human dictionary. Human dictionary? Words we think of all the time. Yeah, it's like predictable text on your cell phone. Did you want to say this or did you want to say that? Remember, only you know exactly what you wanted to say in written form, not the computer. So don't always rely on the computer doing a spell check and phrase check for you. Maybe you want to make a mistake on purpose. If you're an instructor like mine was, when I was writing like this, the instructor purposely made mistakes so I could pick it out. I do the same thing, pass down that knowledge down to my students. I'll purposely make mistakes in spelling and grammar to see if the students pick up on it. And how do we learn that? Using a notebook, yeah, and a dictionary beside you. That's how we learn. Amazing how the brain works, isn't it? So notebooks today are still in use today, and they're much more reliable than any type of screen or using a keyboard. I know it sounds far-fetched to think about it, but this is more reliable, and if it falls, it won't break. Isn't it? Amazing how the brain works in Lightning ESL. If you want to contact me further, it's brian.little324 @gmail.com. Till next time, bye-bye.